That was an error in our culture. That was a mistake that I made. Here's how it played out. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you go with others. That had been my Achilles heel, and is going fast, because I always want to. I'm in a hurry to get to where I'm going, and a lot of times I'm just leaving everybody in the dust. So mistake number one was, I have to be the smartest guy in the room. That's partial ego and partial stupidity, but me being the smartest guy in the room, not being able to see my own deficiencies is rough. It's brutal, really. It makes you make mistakes. You can go faster, but you might go faster down the wrong road, without somebody helping you, because you're going to be deficient. There are areas where I'm going to be the smartest guy in the room, but there's going to be a lot of areas where if I'm the smartest guy in the room, we are all in trouble. But being the smartest guy in the room is a terrible place to be. You wind up with a hub and spoke model in your business or in your organization, where it's you and everybody else is just kind of sticking off of you, and then you reach a limit as to what you can possibly do. It'll grow a certain amount, but then it always collapses back onto your capabilities. Mistake number two, being the boss, or I am the boss. When I'm first starting out, it's like I'm telling me what to do all the time. And it's very, it's all going on up here, but I'm getting into the situation of where I'm just telling myself what to do all the time. And that's great, because I already have the vision to knowing where I'm wanting to go. All right. You add employees to the mix and everything changes. If you're the boss and it's a hard line, I'm the boss, you lose out on the potential of what people can bring to the table. You just delegate duties. You don't leverage people and their smarts and their abilities. I think it was Tony Robbins is where I first heard this, and I don't know how many years ago, but he his thing was, you leverage, you stay connected to somebody. You don't just delegate tasks. That feeds into that whole hub and spoke model again. You're delegating tasks, and then you can only get to your capacity. But if you leverage people and you form an organization where people are connected, man, like the sky's the limit, then that thing can grow. I mean, that's what all network marketing is based off of. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Like you can expand exponentially if you're not doing this hub and spoke model. Was Steve Jobs, where Steve Jobs had the thing where he was in the interview. I've already said it a few times, but it fits perfectly in the I'm the boss, because you would think Steve Jobs at Apple was basically God. He spoke things into existence that were not currently there. He single-handedly invented the Macintosh. He single-handedly invented the iPod. That's not so. The iPhone and all this, the whole infrastructure that goes behind that. He was a leader, yes, and a visionary, absolutely. But did he make the decisions? No. A lady was interviewing him and asked him, are you ever wrong? And he just, paused. He's very dramatic and an excellent speaker. And he just paused for a second and chuckled and said, all the time. All the time. I'm wrong all the time. We have formed a culture, a situation at Apple, to where the best ideas win, not egos. And when the best ideas win, everybody wins. And the third mistake was culture. And I haven't discovered, I still don't understand this completely, but I can see it. Before it was just non-existent. We did a certain thing. We hung our hat on speed and customer service and quality. Like that's just kind of what precipitated out. That's what people wanted the most, for you to be nice to them, for you to be really fast at what you do, and you better do it right. So we just kind of settled out on that. Didn't even realize that the culture, and I started reading some books on culture. Horowitz's book on What You Do Is Who You Are, one of the best books I've ever read on culture. It's almost like the spirit of a company. You can't define it, and the second you think you've written it down, you can't write it down. You can only feel it and move it. I know that sounds, well then how in the world are we going to do anything with it? Well, You still have great influence on it, but it's what you do. It's how you do what you do. And like I said, you can write a bunch of things down, but those will be mission statements and objective goals and our core values and stuff like that. But that still doesn't define the culture. It has to be top down, has to start with the main leader and go down. And it goes something like, what I expect of you is what you will see as important and start expecting from those that you are connected to. Here's an example, though, of where I screwed the culture up, and I didn't even realize it. Our core values are others first, continuous improvement, personal accountability, and stewardship. All right. So, and those are, I think those are great core values. In all that, we're constantly improving, but how do we, and we want to take care of the people around us and our customers. We want to take accountability for what we're doing, and we believe it's our responsibility. But how does that translate into what we're actually doing? Our metrics are the things that we value, that we put into production, into building the product, is actually speed, quality, and customer service. Okay? It's always speed, quality, and customer service. And we always put speed on the top. When we were, the things we're saying, hey, and we're praising people for doing things really fast. We're praising people when you go out there and you examine a sign and the print quality on this and how it was packaged. You go, man, that is great. Okay, developing the culture. But we always talk about speed first. Now, the problem with that is we don't necessarily want speed to be the number one thing, but it's just the easiest to measure. You can, a lot of customer service is very subjective. What you do for one person may not be exactly right for the next person you're dealing with. And then also the quality is subjective. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but the print quality of this particular book is such that I think it's acceptable. It may not be acceptable for this book. The font size, the whatever. So quality is very subjective. Quality is very subjective also. And then, but speed is not. Speed is on a clock. We all have the same clock. We all have the same 24 hours a day. We know what fast is. So anyway, we have always put speed on top, and just because it's easier to measure. That was an error in our culture. That was a mistake that I made. Here's how it played out. We were having, we want to push for 5 nines. So if you don't know what that's 99.99999. That's our push, that we want to have that perfection in how we deliver what we deliver to our customers. We want to be perfect, virtually perfect. Well, we were having things pop up from time to time that were quality issues. Holes didn't get punched in a sign, or the corners didn't get rounded, or we did something, we printed a wrong color or something weird, I'm like, what in the world is going on? We have a process problem. What is going on here? Come to find out, after a lot of research, and they're real sporadic. It wasn't like this was happening all the time. It would be like one time, and it may go 2 months, and then it happened again. And it's like, is this a training problem? We have a process problem? How does these things slipping through the cracks? Come to find out that it was because of the terminology we were using: speed, quality, and customer service. And actually, that whole thing should be flip-flopped. Customer service is the number one thing. Quality is the second thing. And then speed is the third. But we had it flip-flopped over, and it was just because of the way we were wording it. Is that speed? Speed. And we're praising people for, man, y'all got this done. Awesome. We got all these jobs out. So everybody that's just the feel. Our culture was fast. Like, if you asked anything about, the first thing anybody would say was, we're fast. Tell me something about Sign Master. Dude, we are legit fast. We're fast as lightning, fast as a phone call, And we had that in error. So we found out that whenever speed met quality head on, that speed would win. So if it was something to where it had to go today, or we were in such a hurry to get our job done that we missed the details. Error in culture is all it is. So now we flip-flop that, and of course, everybody still makes errors. We're human. But it has tamped. We're getting much closer to our 5.9s now because of a change, just a small change in the culture. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you go with others. And that's how you can go with others.